Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts One Piece Monkey D. Luffy Gear 5. This figure seems to have drawn the ire of many collectors because of the gimmick that they have incorporated into this thing. And I have to say, I'm not hopeful. I don't think the bendy option is a good idea for the primary functionality of the figure. I think it should have been an accessory only. We'll see, maybe it'll work. We're gonna cover it. I'm gonna give it as many chances as it possibly can have because I love One Piece and SH Figuarts can make really good figures. And I'm hoping this is it finally. I know there's at least one thing I like about this figure, sort of. So, we're gonna get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into the review, I do want to show you my package. I think it's a good package. I love the purple. Obviously, he's purple and white now, but having it mainly purple in the background makes the figure pop. Looks really good on the shelf. Like the artwork here, well, photo on the front here. This seems disingenuous, we'll see. But yeah, the One Piece packaging is still great. Love it all the way around. If you're an inbox collector, you should be good. I think you'll be all right. Okay, let's set that aside and get into this. Really quick, guys, before we get into the rest of the video, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Into the AM. They are the graphic t-shirt people. They make awesome, awesome clothes, so I'm always happy that they want to sponsor a video. This is one of their new designs. It's my personal favorite. It's so colorful. It's a nice samurai design. Very stylized, but very colorful. Love it. I get compliments on these shirts all the time, and every time I get a compliment, I think, I wish I got more sponsorships. And they're back, so hey, that's awesome. It works out. But yeah, these are the best graphic tees I've ever owned. If you want to check them out, there's a link in the description below. It'll save you some money. You can always save money on their website. All kinds of different ways, sales, bundling, whatever you want to do. There's plenty of options. They sell other things too, but I definitely choose the graphic tees to recommend because I think they're amazing. They look wonderful. They fit wonderfully. Everything's good about them, so that's what I would check out if I was you. So, Into the AM, they are sponsoring this video, but I would recommend them. I do all the time to people, even if they're not paying me, because they are just that good of a brand. They have really, really great clothing, so check them out. Link in the description below. Now, I will mention, if you do happen to like this thing, it is available in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I bought mine. It's where I buy most of my things because I do trust them the most out of any online collectible shop. So there's a link in the description below if you want to check it out. This guy stands just to the top of where his head would be, about 14.5. That's probably a little generous centimeters. And overall, I'll say 17, depending on how you have that weird ring of fire sort of cloud thingy, whatever that is. We'll say he's about 5 5/8 tall, and then closer to 6 3/4. Okay, question of the day. 2 questions. 1, what do you think about Luffy's Gear 5 design? Do you like this whole cloud god thing that he's got going on? I haven't gotten that far in the show yet, so I don't know much about it fictionally, but obviously we can see it here. I'm on like, I want to say I'm on like episode 850, and people are like, well, why don't you watch everything? It's because it's 850 episodes and I'm not caught up. That's why. I have a life. Anyway, let me know what you think about his design. I think it's kind of cool, and I'm guessing it's pretty cool in the show. Doesn't necessarily fit the rest of his powers, kind of. Like, I don't know, the cloud thing, what does that have to do with being a rubber man? Maybe I'll figure it out once I watch the show. I don't know. Alright, and then the other question is, what do you think about the bendy arms? If you don't know yet from first-hand experience, let me know what you think it's going to be like. He's got bendy arms, bendy legs, and then you can come back and edit your comment with your updates after the end of the review. Here he is up against Darwin. He definitely has some size to him, which I think that's probably fine because One Piece is kind of its own style for sure, so you could fit it in really however you want, and here are some options just to give you some size comparisons. You could probably fudge it in any one of those directions. Alright, I don't fudge in any direction, but you could if you wanted to. Alright, first thoughts. I love the finish. He's a nice matte, flat, satin combo finish. He looks really good as a result. Though I want to say white, but it's actually light gray. Parts look really good. I almost want to say there's shading in the shorts, but I can't tell if it's actually shading or just the light being caught differently, but it looks good. The skin tone looks really nice. They did a good job painting that, and it's a very nice finish all the way around. Paintwork is kind of immaculate. It's really good. There's not a lot of it. Definitely could use some shading here and there, but what's there is solid for sure for you Naruto people. And it looks good. The cloud part, or whatever this thing is transparent. It's kind of milky. I thought his hair should match that. And in the photos, where did I put the box? In the photos, they really leaned into making it look like the hair was also that material. Like, I can tell that it's not necessarily, but they really played with that lighting. It's not as, like, over here you can see that it's painted opaque, but they definitely leaned into it looking like the same thing in some of the photos. So I don't love that, but maybe it's not supposed to be, in which case it doesn't matter. But yeah, he looks pretty good. Just from an aesthetic standpoint, it looks solid. It's one of their better looking releases lately. That matte finish will go a long way to making a figure look good. Definitely could use some shading, but it looks great. So I'm going to give the aesthetic rating a 9 out of 10. It looks excellent. The detail sculpt work is nice. Very, very pleased. The hat's gorgeous. But yeah, looks really, really good, so that's awesome. Now, as far as accessories go, he comes with the big laughing face on him in the package. Then you get a big smiling one, an angry one, and then a very cartoonish angry one. You get the one where his eyes are popping out, so those are all the different face plates. You do get an alternate head with whatever's going on with his hair here. I have no idea, but you do get that. So 2 heads and a bunch of faces, that's pretty good. For hands, pretty good spread of hands, nothing crazy, but fist hands, you know, the usual spread, that's good. Has a couple gripping hands for his lightning bolt. Apparently he throws lightning now, maybe because he's rubber and immune. I don't know how that works, but it's a very nicely done transparent, or it's almost like a crystal clear blue. Looks awesome. Love that. Very, very nice. We do get a display stand, which I like a whole bunch. It's like an updated version of their older display stands. I think this is a pretty good one. I don't know if I like it more than the classic Act 4, but is it Act 4 or Act 5? Whatever. Very good display stand. And then we get the interchangeable arms. Okay, and I'll talk briefly about the bendy arms right now, and we'll talk about it more once we get into the articulation section. We have the long bendy arms, and I think that's great. That makes for an awesome accessory. They're bendy, and they're arms, and he's Luffy, and it makes sense as a wonderful accessory. You can put that to good use. Love it as an accessory. So, let's do the accessory rating, and then we'll get into the articulation rating. Accessory-wise, I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. Only because I don't know that there's probably something else he could have, but he's got a stand, arms, faces, heads, effect parts, like everything you need. Great spread of accessories as far as I can tell. Again, if I had been caught up on the anime, which I can't just watch hundreds of episodes of an anime for a review for a figure, maybe there's something else he could have, but still 9.5. Okay, time for the articulation. The first thing I have to talk about is this smoke ring thing of white fire stuff, whatever. Why is it articulated? Does it need to be articulated? Because that's clearly a problem. It doesn't stay in place. Unless you find just the absolute most perfect balance and then never touch the figure, because it's gonna fall back down. So that thing blows. And also, it comes off easily, which is weird to me because he's got holes in his chest for where it connects. So it's not like it's meant to come off. You're not supposed to leave it off of him. But you can definitely do that, which is so weird to me that they did it that way. Why isn't it permanently connected? Shouldn't it be permanently connected? That would make it more functional. And shouldn't it not be articulated? Why does it have little ball hinges that don't fit? It's the weirdest thing. Maybe there's some explanation for it. You guys can let me know if you know what it is. But as far as I can tell, it definitely doesn't need ball hinges at all, like in any way. I like the way it looks on the figure, but the articulation thing and it falling off, not good. Don't love that at all. The hat, it just hangs there. That's fine, whatever. That's cool looking. All right, for the rest of the articulation, ball pegs in the neck and in the head. Love it. Could be a little tighter down there at the bottom of the neck. It's kind of too easy to move, but not like, it's not floppy, so it's fine. But then it's just, it's just straight up ball pegs, and that's perfect. That's I can't speak. That's exactly what you want it to be, because you can just do whatever you want without thinking and get it exactly where you need it. It's perfect. Love that. That's great. For the shoulders, do we have a butterfly joint in here? It looks like there's kind of something, but that might not. It's hard to say. Either way, you get really good range. You can raise the arm up, you can put it down, you can do the full rotation. It's not my favorite thing because it has a cap over the double ball hinge, which is really unnecessary, and it's not super useful. It's slightly useful sometimes. I still think a standard ball hinge is going to be your best bet, but it works well enough. It's okay, and it's not like it's super ugly or anything, but you do end up getting gaps in things where you maybe don't want them. You get a little bit of bicep swivel there. So it's okay, but it's not great. Now here's the thing that really grinds my gears and bursts my bubble and puts, I don't know, puts a frown, not a smile, a frown on my face. He has no standard limbs. It should have been just accessories. Even if you wanted to give him these accessories and standard limbs, perfect. These accessories, bendy ones, and standard limbs, even better than perfect. But the fact that we only have bendy long arms, which those are great, setting those aside, no problem at all. Bendy short arms, bad call, Bandai, bad call. No choice for regular articulation is a huge oversight, because these arms suck. You can't pose them enough. You had to use good plastic, which they did. It's nice PVC on the bendy arms, but watch the kind of range you get. And that's hoping you don't rip the stuff that's glued together, like the arm, into the sleeve, hoping you don't break it. That's a lot of force I'm applying, and it's not even at 90 degrees. Like, he's gonna be so incredibly limited in posability. Will it look good when it's posed? Sure, there's no seams, but you can't freaking pose it. Not having standard arms with this release is a huge oversight. And I can only imagine that eventually, PVC that keeps getting bent back and forth with a metal wire in it, which has to be a fairly heavy metal wire to hold that, it's going to eventually crack. Eventually, if you keep using it. So, like, they work well enough, I guess, as an accessory. As a standard piece, no. He doesn't have enough range. It's just not good enough. You get ball hinge wrists, those are fine. They don't quite match the figure. That looks kind of cheap. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, for the torso, I haven't taken it apart, but let's see. It feels like it's just ball pegs. He's a little clumsy to pose the top part, but seems like he should have decent enough range if you fiddle with it, and it feels like it is just ball pegs all the way around, so that's okay. The belt is connected to the shorts. This is articulated. This is a separate piece, of course. So yeah, you should be able to pose his torso around pretty well. For the hips, let's see. Going out to the side, well, okay. Alright, it's a straight peg instead of a ball peg that holds it on. That's odd. You know, I never had any problems with that for the first Luffy, but apparently other people did. So his hips appear to be quite limited. Oh no, is this going to be a problem for me now? Get in there. There we go. Yeah, so his hips suck. You have to really force them, and then when you do, they pop out. So, yeah, that's about to come out again. What were they thinking? Why do they have to do that? Stop re-engineering things that you already have done. So his hips suck. I can't even get that to stay back in now. Alright, well the range sucks, and if you try to use it, they pop out. But you get your thigh swivel, and the range is so bad. What the heck were they thinking? Holy crap. You have to fight against this soft piece just to bring the leg forward. Why does it stick down in there like that? That's a horrible, horrible idea. That's not good on paper or in execution. He has no range. That's terrible. Horrible. What were they thinking? I can't get over how bad that is. That's nuts. That is insane. That is so bad. Alright, and then get this. On the first Luffy, they were clearly intended to do this, but never did. It was a glued piece that you couldn't actually articulate. So now you get the extra little hinge there to make his knees but more functional. But on this one, he's got the bendy legs rather than knees. So, okay, you can bring them back a little bit extra, but not really, because they don't bend that well. Like, you never really need that extra range. Even if you bend it all the way, you still don't need that. So, what the heck? Holy crap, was this figure poorly executed, poorly thought out. You need to have standard joints on the base figure and then have accessories of bendy parts. The bendy parts as the primary thing is not okay. Alright, for the ankles, again, the joints are the wrong color, but you get really good range and they're really functional, so that's good. No toe hinge. So, this figure blows when it comes to being an action figure. Accessories are great. The aesthetic is good enough. Posability on this thing is really bad. Really, really bad. Unless you only want to use the long arms, in which case they're okay. And if you really wanted to pose the legs, you can do it, but it's way more limited than it needs to be. And my whole job is to review it, not to say, well, if you do these certain things, you'll be fine. Like, that's true, but it's not enough. So articulation on this guy is going to get a 3 out of 10. It's really not good. The fact that the hips are that bad, not okay. Not okay at all. This thing is just, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? I guess I have to glue it. It already popped out too. Oh man, this figure is so disappointing. They didn't have to do any of this. They could have just included some bendy accessories and been done with it. Easy, basic articulation, but they didn't. Alright, final verdict on this release. It looks really good. The accessories are awesome. Core figure is hard as hell to pose. Doesn't work very well. Very disappointing. I'm going to knock it down to a 6. If you can get past all those problems, it's fine. There is good stuff to redeem it, obviously, but those problems are just nuts. These hips, the fact that this thing falling over pisses me off so much, but you can't bring his leg forward is insane. Isn't his pose like where he's like doing a bicycle motion? Doesn't he do that? Is that on here somewhere? Yeah, this. They had to lean him back. I didn't, like, always pay attention extra close to the photos. I don't do it because I'm going to buy the things anyway since I need to review them, but look at that. He can't even bring his leg forward in the photo. They have to lean him back to make it kind of look like his leg is forward. But even there, you're not using that extra hinge in the shorts. Even in their photos, he's no good. And that tight of a bend, yeah, good friggin' luck. I tried really hard and it didn't get that tight. Also, if you do that, you're probably going to end up tearing the PVC at some point. So, yeah, to me, this figure is a big fat fail. It'll be good enough if you set it on the shelf and never touch it again, because it looks good and accessories are good. But holy crap. Holy crap, did they overdo what they didn't need to make it not as good as it should have been. And there it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, oh gosh, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day. In fact, I think we're back to every day but Wednesday. I'm not sure. It might not be perfect, but we're getting there. And I do have thousands of videos already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.